In April of 2025, Shohei Ohtani makes an announcement that will shock everyone. He's the reigning MVP, a World Series champion, and the highest paid player in baseball. Now though, he has news that will dwarf all of that. He's going to be a father. The internet goes wild with excitement. On April 19th, Ohtani posts a statement welcoming his newborn daughter to the world. However, there's another reason people are excited for Papatani. See, there are some in baseball who believe that becoming a father comes with certain perks. They call it dad strength. According to Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, dad strength is very real. It's amazing how hard Shohei hits the ball now, he said. So now that he's a father, we might see some 120-mile-an-hour exit velos off the bat. This got me thinking. Is dad strength real? Can you measure it? And if so, is it possible to harness this power? These are the questions that I wanted answers to. And what I found out was pretty interesting. So, in honor of Father's Day, let's dive into the science of dad strength. You might be surprised to learn that in the US, paternity leave is not required by law. Or maybe that's not a surprise to you at all. I don't know you. Either way, depending on your job, there's no guarantee you'll be able to take the time off to witness the birth of your child. Major League Baseball, for its part, is the only major sports league in the United States to grant paternity leave to its players. Since 2011, MLB players have been allowed a grand total of 3 days off to become a father. That's a far cry from somewhere like Japan, where men are given 52 weeks of paid paternity leave. Still, it's more than players in other sports leagues get, which is nothing. According to MLB.com, there have been over 200 instances of hitters returning to action after taking paternity leave. Of these players, 27 have hit a home run in their first game back. Now, is this proof that dad strength is real? No, but it's not proof. Let's look at Shohei Ohtani then. In the 20 games before taking leave this year, Ohtani had a .288 average, 6 home runs, 8 RBI, and a .930 OPS. In the 20 games after the birth of his daughter, he hit .316 with 6 homers, 13 RBI, and an OPS of 1140. Of course, Shohei Ohtani is a bit of an outlier in, well, everything. Should he be the standard for all MLB players? Probably not. But has he been given dad strength, like Dave Roberts seems to think? I'll let the numbers speak for themselves. In September of 2023, Trea Turner was on a road trip to the West Coast when he got the news. His wife, Kristen, was in labor. That night, he caught a red-eye flight home to Philadelphia. The next morning, his second child was born. 3 days later, Turner made his return to the Phillies lineup. In the first inning against the Marlins, the shortstop launched a home run deep down the left field line. Later on, he was asked if this homer was the result of dad strength. I think dad strength is the wrong terminology, but now that I think about it, I don't know what the right words are. If there's anyone who's an expert on dad strength, it's Turner's teammate, Bryce Harper. A father of 3, Harper holds the distinction of being the only known person to harness these powers twice. The first came back in 2019, when he took Pirates reliever Richard Rodriguez deep 4 days after the birth of his first child, Crew. In April of last year, he did it again, hitting a home run in Cincinnati after welcoming another baby into the world. Like Trea Turner, Bryce Harper downplayed his fatherly powers. You hit a homer and they're like, I know you've got your strength, but I don't think you have time to think about it, right? Here's the truth. Finding a sample large enough to measure so-called dad strength is difficult. The reality is that paternity leave has only been a part of baseball for a decade and a half. Before 2011, it was a different world. When Colby Lewis of the Rangers became the first player to go on the paternity list, team president Nolan Ryan acknowledged how much the game had changed. They never allowed you to go home for a child to be born. It's just something you heard about if it happened during the season. By the way, you have a new son or daughter. Giants pitcher Mike Krikow found out about the birth of one of his children in the 4th inning of a game he was pitching. Catcher Bob Brenly was told he could attend his child's birth, but only if he was able to fly back to New York in time for the game. Mets outfielder Tom Grieve missed his daughter's birth because he couldn't leave a spring training game in 1978. a spring training game. "We wouldn't have even thought about asking for time off to be with our wife and newborn," said Bruce Bochy. "I didn't see my son until he was 8 days old." Now you might be saying, hey, this was the 70s, when men were men, and sissy things like feelings and empathy were for girls. But this wasn't just the norm in the 20th century. In 2005, Freddie Sanchez was told by the Pirates that he could be absent for the birth of his first child, so long as he was back in the dugout by the 7th inning. His baby arrived early that evening. A few minutes later, Sanchez left the hospital to join his team. He did not play. When MLB finally introduced paternity leave in 2011, most thought of it as a long overdue change. "I don't know why we didn't have it before," said pitching coach Mike Maddox. "We have the bereavement list, and to some, this is for something that's even more sacred." That's a pretty reasonable take. Nothing controversial about a few days off for one of the most precious, irreplaceable experiences a human being can have, right?
Assuming the birth went well, assuming your wife is fine, assuming the baby is fine. 24 hours. You stay there, baby's good, you have a good support system for the mom and the baby, you get your ass back to your team and you play baseball.
Richie Witt, a Dallas sports blogger, caused something of a stir on the internet when he criticized Colby Lewis for taking time off, suggesting that baseball players are paid millions and they ought to show up for their games. What do you make of that?
Well, I think he may have taken the argument a little too far, but I do sympathize with it at some point. I mean, if you're a fan of a team, what if it was Game 7 of the World Series? If you're a fan of that team, do you want your pitcher pitching in that game, the biggest game of the whole season, maybe of your whole life as a fan?
Jeez. Although I will say this, if George Steinbrenner was alive, there's no way Mark Teixeira misses last night's game for the birth of his third child. It's not his first kid, it's his third kid.
So you're saying after 2 kids, you have to play?
Yeah.
Show me the kid afterwards.
Yeah.
I was said C-section before the season starts. I need to be at opening day. I'm sorry. This is what makes our money. This is how we're going to live our life. This is going to give my child every opportunity to be a success in life. I'll be able to afford any college I want to send my kid to because I'm a baseball player.
Look, these guys are morons. They're also wrong. Time after time, studies show that paid family leave is a net positive for parents, their children, and society as a whole. Unfortunately, as of today, MLB is still the only major sports league in the US to have such a program, while NFL, NBA, and NHL players can ask for time off. The teams in those leagues can say no. Dad strength or no, there's another, more tactical reason teams should be in favor of paternity leave. See, any MLB club that puts a player on the paternity list is then able to replace him with someone from their 40-man roster. This allows a team to preserve valuable roster spots and allows the player to be present for one of the most important moments of their lives. And who wouldn't trade a few missed games for a happy, productive, and possibly superpowered player? But don't take it from me. Catcher Kurt Suzuki said that when his baby was due, all he could think about was his wife. When he returned from leave, he had 6 hits, including a pair of homers, in the span of 4 games. Ian Desmond had a similar experience with his first child. In the days leading up to the birth, the national shortstop was batting just .205 with a .586 OPS. The weekend he came back, he went 7 for 16 with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. After Jonah Heim went on leave in May of 2022, the Rangers catcher crushed a massive solo shot in just his second plate appearance. They asked Heim if dad strength had helped him following the birth of his daughter, Lux Blakely. Side note, what are we doing with the names here, guys? Anyway, this is what Heim had to say. You're worried about your 3-day-old daughter instead of trying to hit 97 miles an hour. So it just kind of makes you relax a little bit, and kind of shows you that some things in life are a little bit bigger than the game of baseball. You just go out and have fun, and life is waiting for you when you get home.